Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my review for Insecure Season 2, Episode 3, Hella Open. And it was a good episode today. I can say I kind of enjoyed it. But first things first, if you have not done so already, please take a moment and subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. Subscriptions does not cost anything. It just lets you know when I have a new video up. So you don't have to wonder, did Jay Lee do a review for Insecure? Did Jay Lee do a review for Power? Did she do a review for whatever show of mine that you watch? Being subscribed just gets you notifications to my new content. So please subscribe. I love new subscribers. Also, you can also share my videos on your social media. And you can also like the videos. You just hit the little like button. There's also a comment section below if you scroll all the way down, and you can put in your comments about my review, about the show, or whatever you want to discuss. There is only one rule to the comment section, and that one rule is always be respectful to me and anyone else who is commenting. I don't care about, people debating about the show. That's fine, but we gotta respect everyone, people. Yes. So this episode was pretty good, as I said. It does pick off from where the last episode kind of left off. We see Issa is like on a date, or she's at least at the same guy who she was talking to on Tinder. Where she was like, wanna fuck. We see that she is with him at his apartment, and who is this guy that she's with? It's actually Luke James, the singer slash actor who played Johnny Gill in the New Edition biopic. So he's the dude from Tinder. And, she's kind of giggling because, of course, she's nervous. And he's like, oh, your laugh is so cute. And she's like, oh, thank you. And, they start kissing and stuff, and she's still laughing because she's nervous. So, because she is trying to basically, get her foot in the door of not being with Lawrence anymore. And, so there, he's touching on her and groping her and stuff, and she keeps laughing, which keeps making him stop, like, is you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm okay. And, as they're still trying to touch and stuff, she's still, like, she's laughing, like, in the midst of kissing. And, she's like, I'm sorry, this is just, this is weird. This is just so weird. And that's true. Anyone who dates know once you've been with someone else for so long and you are getting with someone new, it's very awkward because you don't know their body. They don't know your body. You don't know what they like. They don't know what you like. So it's just awkward sometimes, getting into the mood of that. And so she kept laughing. It was a nervous laugh. And she was like, you know what? Maybe we can just, do this another time. And he was like, well, that's what we were here for. And she's like, oh, well, I think I'll just leave. So she's getting up to leave because, of course, it's hella awkward. And, then she can't find how to get out because she's in someone else's apartment. So it's like, which door's the goddamn exit? But she eventually finds her way out of the office. Out of his apartment. But, that's a true representation of hooking up with someone the first time, is you have to get past that weirdness. And if someone new is touching you, sometimes it do make you laugh, even if you want it, because it's still someone new. So I like the whole scene because I've experienced that before. You know what I'm saying? It's just hella awkward. So we also see that they had one little scene of Issa on a conference call. I'm skipping over that because it really didn't make any difference. We see next Issa and her coworker Frida are at work at the school, and it's all these kids coming to the program, which is a good thing. But Frida is like, don't you notice anything weird? Because this is supposedly a 80% Hispanic school, but it's full of black kids in their program, and Frida's kind of like, we're supposed to be here, not to be racial or whatever, but helping the Hispanics, Mexicans, and them. And it's weird that this black principal, who she feels is probably racist, is helping them, but he's only bringing in the black kids. And Issa kind of doesn't see an issue with it. She's like, why are you trying to, turn a positive into a negative? The good thing is we have a room full of kids coming to our program. What does it matter what race they are? And she's like, just accept this win and stop trying to make it an issue. And the girl's like, okay, whatever. In a later scene, we do see their boss talking to them, and she's happy that the program is thriving. And, Issa's, of course, she's like, yeah, it's really good. And Frida, who happens to be her white coworker, it's like, you okay, whatever, you know, because she's not happy at the fact that they're supposed to be helping Hispanics and they're only working with black people. Oh, you know, whatever. Next we see Lawrence is at work, and you know they're at like a little table. I don't know if it's like a meeting or whatnot, and he finds out that one of his coworkers slept with the other coworker, and they're all laughing about it or whatever. And then they're talking about how they hooked up at something called Startup Saturdays, and he's like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's something that we have on Saturdays where everyone comes, you know, and hangs out, and you know, people basically hook up." And Lawrence like, well, you know, I can't make it this Saturday because I promised someone I would help pick up chairs. You know, I'm helping them take something to their family reunion. So we know that someone whose name he didn't mention is Tasha, I'm going to call her, you know, his sex partner for the current, I don't know what they are, basically. But he's like, you know, but I'll come next Saturday. So it's like, cool. Next is a scene. There's Molly is at like a pickup. She's picking up like some furniture, like a bookcase that she ordered or whatnot. And the worker thinks the black guy behind her is with her. So he's like, okay, here's your book stuff, but the box is pretty heavy. And she's like, okay, you know, it's okay, I got it. He's like, but isn't he with you? And when she turned to look, and it's a random black guy, she's like, oh, no, he's not with me. You know, I got it. And she's in her heels, she's in her work clothes, so she's kind of struggling to pick it up. My thing was, you work here. You can't help me put the damn box in my car, sir. Your big, strong, masculine self. I gotta just carry it by myself. But she did. She carried the box to her car. You know, she just walked slowly and she carried it. And as we see, the black guy who was behind her was actually with a white woman. And he is helping his boo. You know what I'm saying? His white Nubian queen, as some people call white people. Only Charlamagne says that. That's not me. It was a joke. Don't come at me. But yeah, he helps her carry her box to her car while Molly is having to carry her box to her car by herself. And her box is heavier. My thing still was the goddamn work. I would have said, oh, can you help me put this in my car? Please, sir? Thank you. But, you know, Molly's on her own person. She did it herself. But she's still looking on as the black guy is helping the white girl put this little box in her car. And she's the black woman carrying the box to her. This big, huge, long box to her car herself. So, yeah. The next thing we see, Issa and Molly having a conversation. They're at Molly's, you know, having drinks. I mean, they're at Issa's having drinks and things. Just having a conversation as friends do. And Issa's kind of complaining about, you know, how it's hard to, you know, basically fuck somebody new. Whereas Molly is saying, you know, it's hard to be in therapy. And they're both giving reasons why it's hard. She's like, you know, with someone new, I don't know what to do. It's just awkward. And Molly's saying, well, yeah, because even with my therapist, I don't know her. And Molly felt like her therapist was putting her opinions or what she think onto Molly. So she's like, you know, for me, that's difficult too, because I'm having to be open to someone I don't know either. So it was, you know, two sides of the same coin of a different amount of money is what I think it added up to be. And Issa's like, you know what? You know, fuck love, fuck relationships, you know, fuck all that shit. I just want somebody to make me feel good. And she said it the same way Halle Berry said it in that movie Monsters Ball when her and Billy Bob Thornton was fucking all nasty on the floor. And, you know, Halle Berry won an Oscar for that particular performance. So she's like, you know, I just want to be like Halle Berry. I want somebody to make me feel good. And she's like, you know, Molly, can you teach me how to hoe? And Molly's like, you know, that's hella rude, but sure. And I don't think she meant hoe as in like, you know, to put me on the street corner and, you know, I want to make some money. She don't want to be a prostitute hoe. But just, you know, how can I be more sexually fluid to meet people? And so they end up going to a club. So, you know, Issa's new to it, so she's trying to adapt to being in a club. Even though they both look cute or whatever, she's still adapting to the dating scene because she's been with Lawrence for 5 years. And everybody knows you've been in a long-term relationship. 5 years later, the dating scene is completely fucking different. And, you know, so Molly's like, well, come on, we're going to walk over to these guys over here. So Issa get up, and she's trying to slowly, cutely walk over. And Molly like, bitch, you walking too slow. We got to hurry up and get over. And she's like, what? This is my sexy walk. And not even 2 seconds later, 2 other girls are already over there talking to the 2 guys they were going to talk to. Which means kind of like in the dating scene, you got to be quick. These hoes on top of it. You know what I'm saying? If they see you walking to 2 eligible dudes, they gonna get over there before you do. And that's what happened. So we see that Issa is just bad at flirting. She was talking to one guy about his tools, and the guy kind of didn't get it because she was cracking lame jokes. I mean, to me, they could have been funny, and he could have just been stuck up. But we just see that Issa is awkward at dating. We then see there's a second guy that she's talking to, and he's like, "Look, I'm only over here talking to you because my friend wanted some alone time with your friend, so that's the only reason I'm over here." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then he like, "You got any other friends?" "Well, damn, sir, what about me? Why can't you talk to me?" Because Issa not an ugly girl, so for me, I was like, damn, she is, hella awkward. I think this title should have been Hella Awkward versus Hella Open. But I think Hella Open was for the ending of it. So yeah, we then see Molly, who's talking to this person who wanted to get her alone. So he sent his punk ass friend to go sit and talk to Issa. It's actually Sterling K. Brown. He plays Christopher Darden in the O.J. Simpson movie that was on like FX or something. So yeah, Sterling K. Brown. He's also in This Is Us, but he's like this guy, and he likes Molly, and they're talking or whatever, and he's like, because she wasn't really paying attention to him. And he's like, well, you could be listening. He said something like, well, she could be listening or something. I can't remember what he said to her exactly. And she kind of giggled, like, oh, that's cute or whatever. I can do two things at once. And then he's like, can I have your number? And she's like, sure. So, she gave him her number, and they walked away. So that was the whole ending of that going out scene. We see just how awkward Issa is dating. The next thing that we see is Lawrence, he hanging out with Bang Boo. And Tasha, I don't know why I keep calling her Bang Boo. But yeah, Lawrence is hanging out at Tasha's house, and they're like watching TV. And as she's talking about this TV show, we see Lawrence rubbing on her leg, trying to open her leg a little bit. And, she's still watching TV, and then he kind of kisses her on her neck. And he trying to get it in. He trying to make it do what it do. And Tasha kind of like, boy, you so silly, stop. So she kind of pushes him off a little bit. And then he gets a little bit more aggressive. Because, he trying to have sex with his Bang Boo. And she's like, boy, boy, stop, get on way on somewhere. And she kind of moves him off, and she's like, ooh, yeah, TGIT, thank God it's Thursday. Oh, yeah, come on, Viola Davis. Meaning they're finna watch How to Get Away with Murder. And she's all into the TV show. And Lauren's looking like, what the fuck was going on? Because he trying to have sex, and she not even having it at all. Like, she's not receptive to it at all. Probably because you told her you fucked Issa. Just saying. And he has this confused look on himself. So yeah, it's kind of weird. We do see the next scene as he's sexually frustrated, trying to get it from Bang Boo Tasha, and she ain't with it. We see Issa's also at her home, and she's sexually frustrated. So she pulls out her vibrator. And, she's trying to make it do what it do. And she put it where it's supposed to be put. And the batteries go out. And she's like, fuck. So she's then up around her house, looking for batteries. She looks in the drawer, there's no batteries. She looks in the remote control, there's no batteries. She looked in the dang on fire detector, she has no batteries in her house. She's just like, fuck. It's, ladies, always, if you're a single lady, keep batteries in your house. You know what I'm saying? Or get something that doesn't need batteries. But if you're going to have something that needs batteries, keep batteries. Because what you don't want to do is be sexy frustrated and you don't have batteries. You have to either go to the stores to get some batteries or just go to sleep sexy frustrated. So moral of the story is keep hella batteries in your crib or just get you a dick on hand. Either way, do what it do. So yeah, no batteries to be found anywhere. The next scene that we see is Molly, and she's on a date with the Sterling Brown. What's his name? I don't know, but she's on a date with the Lawrence with the Sterling K. Brown character, the guy that she met at a club, and they're kind of hitting it off, and they're laughing and talking about what he does, about what she does, and he says to her, I'm happy that we didn't have that awkward first date. Because people know how awkward first dates can be. It's like, do you talk too much about yourself? Do you, ask them too many questions? Is there any chemistry? Is there a vibe? Is things flowing? On the first date, you want things to flow smooth. You don't want to have to try too hard. And you don't want to feel like you're being like interrogated. So, it's hard. So he's like, our first date is kind of flowing. I'm happy that it wasn't an awkward first date. And she's like, yeah, me too. And then he's like, don't you just wish that sometimes you can just fast forward and just be married and be happy? And she's like, yeah. And she smiles. So I'm like, okay, a person who finally gets what she kind of wanted. She, last season she wanted a relationship. And that seems to be what he wants on this damn first date. So yeah. The next scene, which I found funny, we see Lawrence is taking the chairs to Tasha's family reunion. And, when he get there, he like, hey, I got the chair. She's like, oh, hey, and they kiss or whatever, pleasantry greetings. And she's like, this is my play uncle. Say hi. So he like, hey, whatever, play uncle. I thought that was funny because I'm like, who introduces someone as their play uncle? I mean, no, no. I don't, even if you have a play uncle, meaning he's the uncle of, like, we have people in my family who might not be like blood uncles, but I'll be like, hey, this my uncle so-and-so, because that's just uncle so-and-so. When you say play uncle, it just, for me, it's like, is he a dirty old man? I don't know. For me, it was kind of weird, but I'm like, what kind of play uncle is he? Why can't he just be uncle? But whatever. So he, we see that part. Then her ghetto cousin like, hey, nigga, oh, you Tasha's man? Okay, cool. Won't you help me hook up the stereo? And Lawrence like, do we have a permit to play the stereo? And he's like, oh, so you one of them niggas who follow the rules? And he like, what? He like, nigga, just give me the plug, nigga. And I'm like, how you all cutting into this man? You don't know this man. But that's how some people's families be. They hella open to new people, regardless of how comfortable that person is within the situation. I also think that's why you should not bring new people around your whole family. You bring them around little by little. Like, introduce them to, like, a cousin or two. And then introduce them to, like, a auntie. You know what I'm saying? Introduce them to a uncle. But you don't bring a new person around the whole family, because it's too much all at once. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Lawrence kind of looked at things, because then she's like, oh, Mimi here, go get her from the van. Well, damn, first Lawrence was bringing the chairs in, then you helping your cousin with the goddamn radio. Now you're going to get your old ass, Mimi from the van, and she in the wheelchair, and he having to push her to the table. And it was a lot for him, he had just got to the park. Like, he had just got there. And you see, he even seemed a little bit like, okay. It's that thing when everything coming to you at once. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? What am I into? And he's looking around, and it's seeing all kind of, it was some cousins who were twerking while the girl was playing a flute. Who the fuck twerks with the flute? With the flute? You gonna twerk to the flute? Okay. It was kids running around bumping into him, and he seemed overwhelmed. And at that moment, his co-workers text him like, hey, we at this, hookup Saturday or whatever. If you free, come on through. So, he said, Tasha, hey, I gotta go do this work thing, but I'm gonna be back. Gotta go. Give her a kiss, and he leave out. So we like, yeah. The next scene is we see Issa in her apartment, and she's trying to paint over the fire wall. And, you know what I'm saying, she's also looking at her window, and she see her little cute neighbor who's sitting at the pool. Molly then calls Issa in the midst of all of this, and they're having a conversation. And she's basically talking about her date with the Sterling Brown character. And she's like, he's like, well, how did it go? She's like, oh, it went okay. But it sounded so lackluster when she said that. And Issa like, well, I thought you liked him. And she's like, well, I did, but, it's as if he's just checking things off his list. Like, he's checking, check, she's a woman. Check, she has a vagina. Check, she's cute. Check, he's checking things off a list of things that he wants in order to just get married. And it's not flowing well. And she's like, I ran into, a friend so-and-so, and he's with this girl, and their whole thing, he wasn't looking to get with anybody, and now they're together, and it's like it just flowed, and I don't feel that with him. It feels like he's just checking off boxes. And Issa gets quiet, and she's like, well, that sounds like you. Because it did. Last season, that's the same thing that she was doing when she was meeting people. She had a list of things she wanted someone to meet just so that she can get married. I need you to fit into these boxes, for us to be together. And she's like, damn, was that how it was? And Issa like, Issa was a little bit passed out from the goddamn films. And she's like, Issa. And she's like, oh, my fault. I think I passed out a little bit from these paint fumes. Like, girl, open the goddamn window. So that's the whole scene. But Issa like, yes, you were, basically. We see Lawrence getting to this startup Saturday. And as he's there, we see that Tasha's texting him. And he's like, yeah, I'm still caught up here, but I'm going to be back. I'm going to be there soon. And he's saying to his friends, I'm not going to stay long. And then they start asking questions like, okay, are you single? And he's like, what? And he's like, well, I'm dating. And they're like, oh. So basically, you just fucking anything that, that moves. He's like, no, no, I'm not doing that. And then as he says that, a cute waitress walks over. And then she's like, how can can I get you a drink or whatever? And he like, no, I'm not going to be here long. She's like, oh, too bad. And then Lawrence just changes his mind. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to order shots for everybody. So I guess that means he's going to be here for a minute. And she's like, okay, that was good. And then he's going to be there partying up a little bit. So next we see Issa. This also was a funny scene. Issa takes her charger out her walk. She see her cute neighbor going into his apartment. So she takes her charger out her walk. She goes downstairs to his apartment. And she's like, hey, I'm going to call him cute neighbor. Hey, cute neighbor. I found this charger in my apartment and I wonder if you left it the night that you was at my house for that party. And he's like, oh, yeah, that is, man. I've been looking for that. And he takes the charger. So, first of all, don't your goddamn charger, bro. At all. He then's like, you smoke weed? And she's like, yeah, I love it. Issa, the last time you had some weed, you fucked Daniel. And I need you to stop smoking weed, Issa. So, he invites her in and everything. And he's trying to watch Gossip Girl. And I'm like, who the fuck watches Gossip Girl? I don't watch Gossip Girl. Other people may. Man, he's like, it's good to see white people doing their thing. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's true. And then we have Issa rapping to herself, as she always does. Because, of course, we see Issa did that because she wanted a reason to go down there because Issa's horny. And her neighbor is cute. And she just wants some dick. And she's trying to figure out how can she get some dick without being too obvious. So she's like, Issa, get over it. Get him in bed. Even if it's whack, you can still get some head. Which is true, because whack sex still gets you head most of the time. So, it kind of evens its way out. But, anywho, and she's like, just go for it. Go for it. Go for it, ho. Go for it, ho. That's what she said. It wasn't me. So, she's back into reality of her and him on the couch. And she, goes and she tries to go for it. And she goes to kiss him, and they bump heads. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, my bad. He like, it's okay. I like to get a little rough. And I'm like, okay, cute neighbor, okay. And then, clothes are coming off. So he's having trouble taking his shirt off. So I'm like, that's not a good sign that he don't know how to get his own shirt off. And she helps him take his shirt off. And, they're then standing up. And he gets to her pants like, oh, is that a button? Like, nigga, you don't know how to use buttons? And he's having issue taking her pants off. It was just so funny and awkward. Again, the first time you're having sex with someone is hella awkward. And they're on the kitchen, against the kitchen wall, and he like, I just want to ask you if I could titty fuck you. Did you just ask me, can you put your dick in my face? Because that's all titty fucking is. All titty fucking is, you put your dick in between her boobs, and you got your dick in her face. Bruh, I don't know you like that. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, thank you. And she's like, I'm going to respectfully decline that. And he's like, thank you for being so respectful. It was just, I'm like, is he a virgin? And he just saw somebody get titty fucking. That's what he want to do. Because who wants to instantly titty fuck somebody? To me, that's just awkward. But whatever. Issa has small boobs. Like, she don't even have big breasts. So what kind of shit? I'm sorry. So they in his bedroom and everything, and she's trying to get her pants off, and her pants is tight, so it's her having to pull her pants off of her legs. And when he take his pants off, she's like, ooh, meaning he has a nice size penis. Congratulations, boo. And even him getting into the bed, he's like, okay, yeah, hold your legs like this. And it was just hella awkward. She's like, oh, like this? And it was a weird first position, basically. Like, that's the position you're gonna go to. And it was an uncomfortable position for her because her neck is stuck and she's sitting weird and her head kept hitting the headboard. And, you know, at first she's like, okay, yeah, do you. And then she's like, you know what, this ain't working. Let's change positions. And she gets on top. But he's sitting down and she's sitting on top of his lap, basically. But in my head, she's still fucking him. You know what I'm saying? And because sometimes you just have to fuck the dude to get your stuff off. Because he don't know what he doing. And it seemed like he didn't know what he was doing. But he had the right equipment that she needed to do what she needed to do. So, yeah. So they had that whole sex scene. We do see that she tries to sneak out a little bit later, and he kind of wakes up and he's like, oh, you know, you can spend the night or whatever, you can stay over. She's like, no, I'm good, I'm gonna leave. And he's like, oh, all right, we'll see you around. She's like, yeah, you know, see you around. And she looks and she grabs her phone, and she also looks at the charger that she brought that he said was his. That's really hers. And she looks back at him and she's like, taking my charger. Because she also looks and sees his phone plugged up to a goddamn charger, because it wasn't his damn charger. So, you know, she walks out. Now, she walks out, her phone dings, and there's a new Tinder person like, we should hook up. Like, Issa trying to be dirty. So, yeah. We also see Lawrence is still at this party. This is the last thing I'm going to go over. Lawrence is still at the party. He's completely forgot to go back to Bank Boutasha. He's had a few drinks, and he's, you know, partying it up. And, you know, she then calls him because he didn't want to come back. And he like, you know, hold on 1 second. And he walks away to where it's quiet because, of course, he's at a party. And she's like, is everything okay? You know, you left and you just basically left and didn't say anything. And she's like, no, you know, I'm at this work thing. I got kind of held up. And she's like, you know, if you didn't want to be here, you could have just said so. And he's like, no, you know, I actually had a couple of drinks. I didn't want to be drinking and driving. But then he kind of comes clean. And he's like, you know, I don't want to get into anything serious. You know, I just got out of a relationship and, you know, it was just a lot. And she's like, hold up, what? Are you serious? What? And then, you know, she's like, she kind of just went in on him. And she's like, my whole family was here. You was here and then you basically just ghosted me. You know how embarrassing that is? And he's like, you know, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And she's like, stop apologizing for shit that you really don't mean. And he's like, what? I am sorry. And she's like, look, I knew this was not serious from the beginning. You know, I knew that, but you was wrong because you fronted like it was serious. Now, see, the issue I had with what she said was, you said out your own mouth, you knew y'all wasn't serious. You knew he wasn't serious, but he acted like it was. My thing is, when you know a guy really not serious about you and y'all just fucking, you need to keep that in the back of your head so that when he do some dumb shit like this, you don't really get upset and you don't feel stupid. That's also why you don't invite someone to a family gathering who you don't really, you know what I'm saying, y'all ain't really like that. So that way you don't feel embarrassed. Like, that's just my opinion. But, you know, she's like, you know, and as she's saying that, he's like, you know, I'm sorry, you don't deserve this. And she's like, you know, stop acting like you can fuck about me when you don't. And he's still saying he's sorry. And she's like, you know what? You a fuck nigga. And he's like, what? When she called him a fuck nigga, when I tell you I busted out laughing, like, Lawrence is kind of like a fuck nigga. And it's like, but you know what? You're the worst kind of fuck nigga. You a fuck nigga who think he a good nigga. And then she just kind of hung up on him, and he was in around looking stupid. I'm like, yes, Sasha. Tell Lawrence he a fuck nigga because he don't know what he want to do. Lawrence don't know how to play that game. He don't. And he was fronting like y'all was something. You at the girl house, you bring her stuff to her family reunion, you know, y'all hanging out. That's not easy breezy. We ain't kicking it. If y'all just sleeping together, that's all it is. You ain't doing shit extra. So they both kind of put themselves in that position. So I was looking like, but Lawrence still is a fuck nigga. You know? So yeah. So yeah, that was the whole episode. You know, Issa got her rocks off with her neighbor, and she's, you know, hella open now. And Lawrence just is basically a fuck nigga now. He's single again. And that's cool. That's cool with me. But Lawrence then went back to the party. He like, I ain't got time for this shit. I'm going back to the party. And he did go back and did have more fun. So that was my review of tonight's episode of Insecure. Moral of the story of today's episode: if you're gonna have sex with somebody new, you gotta be hella open. Use condoms. If the guy don't know how to take your pants off, just say forget it. If the positions are stupid, just get on top. And last but not least, just be faithful, people. So, I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Until next time, people. Peace. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.